The US Naval Academy admits it denied all vaccine-related religious exemption requests from midshipmen. The report comes as Washington dukes it out over defense spending and military vaccine mandates. Congress unveiled its $858 billion defense plan on Tuesday, with Republicans insisting it include a measure to dump the military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. However, it is unclear how the measure would play out at the Naval Academy. And joining us tonight to discuss is Mike Berry, Director of Military Affairs for the First Liberty Institute. Mike, always great to have you on. A lot to talk about today, but first, I want to get your reaction to the report of the exemption request denials for midshipmen, and also the separate claim that some unvaxxed midshipmen are being denied their diplomas. I know you used to teach at the Naval Academy, so what do you think about all this?
Well, it's absolutely atrocious what's happening to our midshipmen. You know, there's no good reason to deny a midshipman their diploma other than to try to humiliate them, to try to punish them, just to be vindictive in nature. We've known all along that the military has basically been bragging about the fact that they are not approving any religious accommodations. I'd be curious to know how many medical or administrative exemptions the Naval Academy has granted. I'm guessing it's probably several dozen, maybe even up to 100. So it's clear that the Navy doesn't care whether a sailor or a midshipman is vaccinated. What they really care about is why the sailor or midshipman is asking for an exemption. And if your reason for asking for the exemption is religious, then they're trying to root them out and get rid of them. That's purely punitive and vindictive in nature. It's unconstitutional and it's illegal.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, it looks like the annual defense bill will soon head to President Biden's desk. Republicans insist that the bill, as you know, include a plan to drop the military's vaccine mandate. Let's take a listen to what White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre had to say.
I will note, just to be very, very clear here, what we saw, what we think happened here is Republicans in Congress have decided that they rather fight against the health and well-being of our troops than protecting them. And we believe that it is a mistake.
Mike, your reaction?
Well, it's funny that she says that, because the last time I checked, it also required Democrats to vote on the National Defense Authorization Act. I'm pretty sure that Speaker Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Schumer are going to vote on this as well. And it looks like, my understanding is it's already passed in the House and it's now on to the Senate for passage. So really the only holdup here is going to be the president himself, the commander-in-chief. We know that the president and the Pentagon both have gone on record as saying they oppose the lifting and the repeal of the vaccine mandate. So you have Congress, who still, in this country, we still have civilian control of the military. They're essentially saying, both bipartisan, that the mandate needs to be over. It needs to be done with. It's hurting our recruiting. Our recruiting and retention are at historic lows. And yet you have the president and the Pentagon digging in their heels unnecessarily, further harming our troops, and specifically going after troops of religious faith. We know that people of faith in this country are the ones most likely, statistically speaking, to join the military. I think the president and the Pentagon know that, and those are the ones they're trying to root out and use this as some kind of ideological litmus test to get rid of people of faith from our military.
Yeah, and as I understand it, while the Republicans feel the inclusion to drop the vaccine mandate is a win, I understand it wouldn't be retroactive, so that means those service members who were already discharged won't be reinstated. Do you know more about this? And if so, what can you tell us?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we've had thousands of service members asking us, what does this mean for us now if the mandate is repealed? Unfortunately, if you've already been kicked out, if you have suffered some form of punishment or adverse action against you, it doesn't appear that the repeal of the mandate is going to be able to do anything to reinstate or provide back pay or restore you to your previous status. It's also clear, based on what the president and the Pentagon have said, is that they're already expressing or suggesting that they have the intent to try to reintroduce a new vaccine mandate. I saw one statement from a Pentagon official saying, all this does is lift the COVID-19 vaccine mandate. It doesn't prevent us from doing anything in the future. So that's why this first step is a positive step. It's a necessary step, but even more so, organizations like First Liberty Institute that have filed litigation. We secured the very first class action injunction against the military protecting service members of faith. That litigation was absolutely necessary, and it's as needed and necessary now as it's ever been to protect service members of faith.
Well, Mike, we have to leave it right there. Thank you so much, as always, for coming on. We appreciate your insights, and thank you so much for your service.
Thanks for having me.